How's it, everybody, and a warm welcome to the Web3 show. I'm your host, Philip Kalinko, joined by Kate Bergman from the Droid Kingdom, and together we bring you Freestyle Fridays. A reminder that nothing we say is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and if you haven't already noticed, the Web3 space is incredibly risky. So always do your own research. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Blur airdrop. I told Kate that it was going to be worthwhile 6 months ago. He told me it wouldn't. I'm going to do a dance like he did last week. We're going to talk about Degods on Bitcoin. We're going to talk about DigiDaigaku throwing away $7 million like I said they would and completely failing in their attempt to bridge the gap between Web3 and Web2 by spending that money on a Super Bowl advert. We're going to talk about Amazon and their investment in an NFT project that I've been talking about for a very long time. We're going to be talking about Super PUMA. Maybe PUMA is starting to make moves. Can they compete with Adidas? And can they compete with Clone X? And much, much more. But before we get into it, let's get straight into a market update. We have got June Analytics, which is loading.
Yo, do you like my little my NFT Nick stunt just now? Leaving one mic off or leaving one headphone off. You know, when Pio starts the show and he's like, "Good morning, Web3," and he's always like takes his headphones
Jesus,
off.
yeah, bro. That Oak shouts.
You weren't shouts. I was just joking, but
yeah, no, but it's too much. He shouts. I hate it. I have to switch it off.
Really?
It's too much.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, just in the beginning.
So animated. He's like, "Welcome to it." I'm just like, I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's the same when I'm watching TV. If I'm watching like a series or something, and like you've got loud music, and then people speak softly, and you continually have to adjust the volume. I hate that. I want it like generally to try and be like a consistent volume, but I know what you're doing. Nice setup, bro. New camera setup, new mic, new everything. I'm trying something. I hope everyone likes it. Let me know in the comments if you guys think I'm clearer and how I'm sounding and all the rest. But yeah, been spending a lot of time sorting things out.
Good morning, everyone.
Mr. Bergman.
Smash the like button for us. Appreciate y'all.
For sure, man. Let's get into it. Market update. All right, everybody. If we have a look what's going on here, we had really good days yesterday and the day before on both OpenSea and much bigger on Blur. Yesterday, 14 million, the day before 16 million. But if we jump here, the last 24 hours, we can see 50 million on Blur, 12 million on OpenSea. That is a very, very big difference. We're looking at 1.2 million on X2Y2, 1 million on Immutable X, CryptoPunks 800,000, 500,000 on LooksRare, Axie Marketplace, a name I haven't seen in the top 10 for a long time, on 90,000, and so on and so forth. If you add that together, you get a whopping $65 million in the last 24 hours. If we change that to 7 days, you can see that Blur's almost doubled OpenSea in the last 7 days, $200 million, OpenSea 92 million, X2Y2 11 million. So we're going to talk about the Blur airdrop and whether that's helped their market dominance, but from the looks of it, it does think short term that it has. If we have a look at the crypto markets, we have had a bit of a pullback in the last 2 days. Crypto, Ethereum sitting at 1685. We got Bitcoin sitting at 24,500, which is pretty high, pretty much the highest we've seen it for quite a while. We've got Solana sitting at $23. We've got Ape at $5.50, and we've got Blur just under $1. If we have a look here at the stock market, same sort of thing in the last 24 hours. We're pretty much down across the board. Yesterday as well. On the week, maybe about 5% down week on week on the stock market. So definitely some consolidation going on. What do you think about the market, Kate?
Dude, I think we are in a full-fledged bull market. I think we all start dumping our bags into CryptoPunks, and we start buying literally everything, and then we ride this pump. It's going to be going on through the rest of the year. I'm putting all my money on this, guys. Especially Crypto Dream. I would assume you're putting in all your net worth. Philip, please go ahead and sell any and all fiat currency. We're buying into this crypto pump, and we're going to moon. This is all according to Easy Eats Bodega, by the way, on his last few tweets. He was talking about it. I mean, we had the blur airdrop, obviously, which we'll talk about, but some people, a lot of people that I know made fucking bank on that. Like, I don't know how much you made, if any, on blur. I don't know if you use blur, but I know a lot of people who made 5-6 figures on blur, and I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, oh, yeah. We're like, it was only 20K, and I'm like, you only got airdropped $20,000. Airdropped $20,000, and you're saying, eh? It was unbelievable, dude. But a lot of people, I saw the NFTs started to pump a little bit, then they dumped right after. So I'm not, honestly, I have fucking no clue. I'm not a trader like that. It's really, really hard to tell.
Look, the blur airdrop was bigger than I think anyone expected. I have not been farming tokens like a lot of people have, and in retrospect, I wish I was. Across my 3 wallets, I was able to get just under 1.5 Ethereum.
Nice.
Yeah, which I converted to Ethereum at about 70 cents. I always sell too early, but I converted to ETH. I actually then converted it to US dollars. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that considering that I haven't been trading a huge amount on my one wallet, I got 1,900 blur. On my other wallet, I got like 1,600, and then I got like 100 and something on my one wallet and nothing on my burner wallet. So, I mean, money for nothing, 1.5 Ethereum. For someone who really has, I mean, I bought a couple of NFTs. I've sold a couple of good NFTs, but haven't done much. I think it's absolutely great. I don't think any of us were anticipating it to be as much as it was. And hindsight's 2020. I do think that all of us wish we had bought more. The thing that's interesting here is, you know, with the value of the token at just about $1 currently, you're looking at a market cap of about $1.5 billion, which is quite impressive. They are busy doing a raise at the moment, and they valued at, if this raise goes through, they will be valued officially at about $1 billion, which is incredible to think. It really, really is. But I do know of people who got millions of dollars. There was about 10 people who got over $1 million airdropped to them, which is absolutely insane. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing to see.
Do you think that I saw Zeneca got, I think, promoted or something to some sort of director role? Do you think how much of a play, or how do I ask this? What is Zeneca doing? Like, what is he doing all day? People love the dude. I haven't consumed enough of his content to know, I feel like, enough about him. I have watched all his show. Like, I love watching his show with Jamie every week that they do together. And that's where I get most of my context on him as a person. But other than that, all I know about him is he dropped, obviously, the 333 Club, and for some reason he's a prominent figure, but I don't know why, and I don't know what he's doing with Blur.
Zeneca was very early to Web3 and very, very early to NFTs. And admittedly, in the last year, he's taken a bit of a backseat. He's still, as you said, he does that show with Jamie once a week, and he does appear on some podcasts, but he used to be a lot more active. He does have his own 333 Cup. There's also the Zen Academy, which is another NFT, and they're busy building along there. And he was or is you know, on the Blur board, as well as a few other notable people. Yeah, but I mean, he definitely was an OG, you know, Top Shot days guy, knows NFTs very, very well. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my synopsis of him.
Cool. If anyone else knows any extra information as well, definitely throw it in the chat, because I think I want to interview him at some point. I literally just I didn't know anything. I didn't know the first thing about him, and so I guess I got to do some more research and find some interviews that he's done.
Yeah, he's definitely worth interviewing for sure. Very interesting guy in the space for sure. So the Blur airdrop went off very, very successfully, even though it was delayed. Finally, on the 14th of February, we came. They had such a nice collection page, told a bit of a story, told how much you've traded. and it really was done pretty flawlessly. It really went off really incredibly well. And to think that this amount was airdropped to users, there was also some set aside to be airdropped to projects that launched on Blur, also some for the founders, but a big chunk of it did go into the pockets of the users. They very cleverly made it that this is airdrop number one. So that wasn't known yet. There were 3 sections to airdrop number one. And when you claim those 3 sections, they then said, this was airdrop one, airdrop two is on the way. You should start listing, putting bids in. And for the next month or so, any listing or bids will be extra points that you get, which is quite interesting. So they're definitely thinking for the future. The problem with directly incentivizing people with money, which is how they've gained this market share, is that you've got to continue incentivizing them with money and hopefully more money. Otherwise, people can lose interest. So scenario number one is people were incentivized financially to begin with, and they ended up using the platform as a result of that incentivization, but they ended up absolutely loving the platform. And now, regardless of what happens in the future with airdrops, they are going to continue using it. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is everyone's hating, not everyone, the person who we're talking about in this scenario hates using Blur. The only reason that person is using it is because of the airdrops. And if this next one is smaller, which it has to be just logically, than the first one, and then the next airdrop is even smaller or doesn't exist, they will slowly go away. So those are the 2 scenarios. But for now, they have been able to take over OpenSea daily volume substantially, like beat OpenSea, and they are the only marketplace to date that is actually giving OpenSea a run for their money.
Yep, it's true, dude. It's true. They pretty much took a gamble here, and I think it worked because a lot of people I know like Blur as well. A lot of people are pissed at X2Y2. I saw X2Y2 put out a tweet yesterday actually, and they were like, so the war of the marketplaces started. OpenSea blacklist Blur blacklist everybody else, blah blah blah. How about you come to X2Y2? And all the comments were like talking about, they're like, you guys are the ones who started the 0% royalty fucking war. Like, what are you talking about? And that's the issue, dude. Like, it's pretty much about user experience. If you can make that seamless as fuck, really good, and then offer a massive incentive like this just to get used to it and get comfortable on it, you pretty much, if you wanted to get a good airdrop from this, you really had to use this shit like a lot. And I didn't have the time, or I'm not a trader, so I just don't care. But yeah,
look, I'll be honest with you. It's not my favorite platform. I prefer using OpenSea. I think the benefit of it is if you bulk listing, bulk buying, bulk selling, that sort of stuff, it's really cool. Obviously, the fact that they only charge 0.5% royalty. So Blur itself started charging 0 royalty in the beginning, but about a month ago, the minimum is 0.5 compared to OpenSea's 2.5. But then also certain collections the royalties aren't enforced on Blur. So there's definitely a saving there. But as far as the actual user interface, obviously the trending in the top is the same pretty much everywhere. But when you actually go into it, and this I think is my burner wallet, if I'm not mistaken, when you actually go into it, accepting bids and things like that are not ideal. Let me just stop sharing for 1 second. For me. But that's just personal preference. I think it's more like a technical trading platform, and some people love it. But again, I mean, we've been saying that OpenSea should have done an airdrop or a token for so long. And I'm so happy that someone has come out, namely Blur, and said to them, look, guys, you're not doing it, but we're going to do it. And we're going to show you what happens. You didn't take advantage of doing it. This is what you could have achieved. Yes, you have to give $1 back, but you're going to make $10 for every dollar you give back. And I just think it's cool. I think there's someone who's come out and said to them what we've all been saying is, guys, come on. We spent a fortune with you guys. You made tens of millions of dollars a second during the bull market. Where's our airdrop? And MetaMask better be careful, because with Phantom launching Ethereum, MetaMask should do their airdrop. Otherwise, they also going to lose market share.
MetaMask airdrop would be so unbelievably insane. Like, I could not even put a number on how much money some of these traders that we know of would make. And even you, actually, you're a trader.
I would make a lot. I've done hundreds of like close to 300 to 500 ETH on MetaMask, buying, let alone selling. I mean, since beginnings.
Did you hear about Collabland?
Yeah, I did actually. I think
Collabland?
we're talking about it tonight. Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
So yeah, let's not get too much into it. But yeah, just to talk about Blur a bit, they gave me 1.5 ETH for free. So I want to give them a bit of airtime, which is quite cool. There's a random account. I don't know which one. It's not too random, but there's my wolf boy from last week. So you can see this is how it generally is. And then you can see the list price where it's listed, the top bids, where you've got top bids, and obviously people are putting bids in left, right, and center to try and farm more of the airdrop. But it does have to be said that now that more people are playing this game, the airdrop per person is naturally going to be less. But yeah, still worth doing. But you could like select this for an example and accept the bid or list it and edit it. So let's just say if we wanted to just hypothetically, I want to choose one that's not listed. So let's choose my Lazy Lion bungalow. So if you have a look over here, you can see you can specify so 0.5. You can specify the royalty you want over there to give to Blur. You put your list price in here. It shows you what you'll end up getting. And if you had to do it on OpenSea, you'd get 59 Ethereum for a 66 ETH sale, whereas on Blur, you'll get 65 ETH by choosing to only pay that royalty and not having to pay the royalties for the collection. So that's pretty much, yeah, a very basic overview. You can also list on other marketplaces through the Blur app if you want to. So you can choose what to list it on each marketplace and list it over there. Definitely very good for bulk listing, bulk buying, bulk selling. Not so good for me if I'm like looking to browse and I want to buy an NFT. I much prefer the interface of OpenSea when I'm actually browsing for myself to be able to look at, okay, Doodle's not a great example. I like mutants. What mutant do I want to look at? I much prefer. I mean, I've got to close all of this. Then it's pretty much OpenSea once you close those two side things.
Yeah.
But I just prefer the space that I've got on OpenSea versus here.
Ooh, that one with the beanie's kind of nice on the left.
And the first one.
Yeah, that one's kind of cool.
Yeah, so this one's stolen. You can see it cannot be listed on OpenSea. All of the ones over there.
That shit is so annoying, bro. I picked up Crypto Dream had an issue and basically I had to pick up one of his I picked up one of his wolves that had sort of been scammed, and I bought it for like safekeeping so he could get it back, and literally it's flagged, and I was like, I can't even transfer it to him. I was like, bro, what the? Yeah. There's got to be a better way for this, you know, like the stolen NFTs. I'm not sure I don't know what the answer is, so I shouldn't even be complaining, but there's got to be something, dude. Like they can't just be flagged indefinitely, and you can't do anything with them. I'm like, what is this, you know?
So the person who flags it, Crypto Dream, should be able to unflag it and say that it was his by contacting OpenSea. But the situation there is not great. It's definitely not ideal, and I agree with you. There's got to be a better solution. You know, with my Clone X that got stolen from my wallet, that got hacked, I still haven't heard back from OpenSea. I sent them through everything. Wow. I sent numerous. So, you know, sometimes they're quick, sometimes not. I still haven't had any response over there. What all the marketplaces have done recently is they've put a 3-hour trading block on NFTs. So if you transfer an NFT from your cold wallet to a hot wallet, you can't transact that NFT within the first 3 hours. But that only works if OpenSea is there answering the inquiries within 3 hours and flagging it within 3 hours. And typically they're not quick. I mean, my experience with OpenSea customer service is I rate them 0 out of 10. Honestly, and I've needed numerous things from them. And my experience with Magic Eden is I would rate them 7 to 8 out of 10. Anytime I've needed them, they're there on a live chat, able to help and all the rest. The reason I didn't say 10 out of 10 is because I know they laid off 22 people, and I don't know if it's still the same. I haven't tried recently. But yeah, there's got to be a better way to flag stolen NFTs and to unflag them. The system does not work. So I got caught with one the other day. I had a WEF wide collection wide offers, and it got accepted, and 3 days later it's been flagged. So the guy who accepted it, you know, whatever must have. So it's a pain in the ass. I'm sitting with an asset that I paid market value for, and yeah, that was obviously before the 3-hour window, or it was just flagged after the 3 hours. I don't know. So it wasn't flagged to begin with. So it's definitely not ideal. Definitely not.
He says, I've been meaning to ask you if you've wanted me to make public how you helped me. No, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can, but like that's not why I did it. Either way, up to you. I mean, I made a video for when I got hacked with the World of Women. You remember that when I got that little hack? I think we were at that point we had to been streaming together, right? We've been streaming for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one was rough. But I only did it because I thought there was something worth learning in that hack, because it was a very common way to get scammed. It was just one of those classic Discord links that beginners fall for because it looks normal to them. I mean, once you've seen it 1,000 times, you know it's fake. But if you haven't seen it 1,000 times, you wouldn't realize that's a scam. I literally just wasn't paying attention. I just happened to be scrolling on 4 different websites, editing. I was watching something. There's music playing, and I just was like, oh, I must have missed this random mint or something, and I just clicked it, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. And then I connected my wallet, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, wait a second. And then it asked me to connect again. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Why did it ask me to connect again? And then the page refreshed, and it was like, there's still the same amount of mints. And I was like, wait, why am I feeling sketchy? So I ran back to Discord. It seemed that everyone was like, don't click the link. And I literally, my heart dropped. I remember my heart dropping and being like, fuck. So I gave myself about 2 seconds to be like, fuck. And then I ran to OpenSea. I looked at my activity, saw the World of Women NFT was gone, and I was like, great. And I immediately went to revoke.cash or whatever it was called, disconnected from everything, and prayed. I literally sat here right at this exact table, and I fucking prayed. I prayed, and I was like, please let that be the only NFT. Even though that was my favorite one in that wallet, please let that be the only NFT. And thank God they didn't take anything else, because I had I had a bunch of like random NFTs in that wallet that I forgot about that shouldn't have been in there. They should have been in the ledger. And I was just so grateful that the rest of them didn't get taken. None of the ETH was touched. Like I caught it within 10 seconds. I think that's why. But that's the only reason I made that video, Crypto Dream, just because it was a very common mistake that a lot of people make. Experts or normal people or beginners.
100%. Can happen to anyone. And it just goes to remind you, you know, cold wallet, all the usual apps, the ones that we've said, revoke.cash, Chrome extension is really, really good. That other one, all of which is we've spoken about a lot.
Let's jump into I triple check the URLs every time, no matter what. If I'm logging into a marketplace, I'm triple checking the URL and making sure I spelled everything right. I almost always go to the official Twitter and click their link from there, even if it's like Magic Eden or like some random website that like, you should be using a lot. If I don't have the tabs saved at the top across my screen, then I usually would go to their Twitter, and I still do that. And by the way, I do that even when I'm busy, like when I'm in between stuff, because I know how easy it is to just not pay attention and get scammed. And it's not because you're a bad person. You're chilling. It's a normal Tuesday, but like that's when you get scammed. That's when you get hit by a car. Like that's the thing. When you say it's never going to happen to you, then it happens, and you can't believe it. It's because you were just careless. So
yeah, but look, it can happen to any of us, and it's happened to all of us. It feels like absolute shit, and it can happen. You were doing a million things at once. I was doing a million things. It's the worst feeling in the world, and it can happen to anyone.
Embarrassing.
And I do think in general, Web3 needs to sort it out, because if we want a future here, it needs to be better than it is at the moment. Let's get into what's trending. If you have a look over here, we've got mostly the blue chips going on at the moment. A lot of Yuga. Yuga's really holding up the market at the moment. We've got Other Deed at number 1, which is quite surprising, sitting at a 2 ETH floor. Yes, they're going to have another gameplay to come, but they're still quite a far way out. I mean, years. So interesting to see them at a 2 ETH floor. Very happy for them, but they've been slowly creeping up all the way from 1.2 ETH for the last 3 months. We've got Moonbirds. If you haven't seen last week's video, they are officially ragging us. They've given 2 years notice. It's called the Rose Rug because of Kevin Rose, or the Slow Bleed Rug, as someone suggested in the comments. But yeah, 100%. If you haven't watched the video, please watch it. But it's 100% true. I actually updated it with the source as well. So yeah, then we've got Mutants at number 3, sitting at 16.6 ETH, another Yuga asset that continues to be rising. We've got Doodles sitting at 6 Ethereum. We've got Azuki sitting at 15.2, which is very strong still. We've got Beans, which have had a nice pump all the way from 1.1 to 1.65. We've got Bored Ape sitting just under 78 Ethereum. We've got Clone X still hanging around the 5.3 mark. We've got Checks, which is 1.1 ETH. They went all the way down to about 0.7. They were all the way up at about 3 ETH. So definitely finding their feet. For those of you that don't know, Checks is really what's gotten us into open editions. They were the first. And then we're sitting with Pudgy Penguins at number 10 at 5.8 Ethereum. a name you might not have seen for a while, Only One Force, ON One Force. They are sitting just under 2 ETH. Again, rumors of being bought out and taken over. Those rumors have been circulating for a while. Seems like there might be
But
more to those
you know
rumors
that
than what we
So
think.
so I think one of the main guys who's been pushing that narrative just confirmed that they're not on the list of the companies to watch out. There was some tweet that was going viral that people were like, is it this company? Is it this project? And there's someone listed like 5 of the project I would have probably put forward to being the ones that might be bought up. And only one was in that list, and he said no. So either he doesn't know and he was guessing, or Only One Force, this is pure speculation. So I just want to throw that out there for anyone who was thinking about buying one, because they are sitting at a 2 ETH floor almost. Only One Force is cool. I do believe Only One Force was also the first anime one, maybe somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. But look, I
like
mean, they've already had a very, very big pump. You could have
Yeah.
put them up at 0.3 Ethereum about 6 months ago.
Yeah, be
So
super careful.
I don't know that now's the time. But I have been hearing these rumors for a while, and they're now recirculating. So it does give it more validity the more often you hear it. But again, I don't know anything as factual, neither do you.
Sure.
As you said, everyone just be very careful. Meebits sitting at 3.5 ETH. We've got Nouns, a very interesting project sitting at 27 Ethereum. We got Cool Cats. They've had a huge sweep of their floor, sitting at 2.5 Ethereum. Bored Ape Kennel Club sitting at 7.7 Ethereum. Moonbird Oddities at 1.11. Wreck Guy 1.22. Renga 1.3. Sewer Passes 2.2. And Little Pudgy's half an ETH.
Bro, I want a little Pudgy. I want a little Pudgy. I've really been watching their. Okay, so let me explain. Pudgy Penguins has done such an incredible job on Instagram. They're the only company that's done a good job on Instagram, I think, besides Cool Man's Universe, which, by the way, I bought another Cool Man's Universe. I bought a gold one. I fucking love it. I really do believe in Cool Man's Universe. They just doubled their team. So I know they're not fucking around, and I know they got money, and they're not losing money. So I know they're doing a great job, and they built a great brand. But Pudgy Penguins, if you guys check out their Instagram right now, every other reel is going viral right now, like millions of views. It's crazy, and their animation and story is so phenomenal. It might as well not be an NFT. Like, they're doing exactly what LucaNet said 6 months ago. It's crazy, and I was like, I've been watching them for the past few weeks, being like, wow, this is really incredible. Like, nobody even knows that they're an NFT project. Nothing about NFTs in their bio or anything, and they're doing an excellent job. I think the little Pudgies are horribly undervalued, but I still don't want to pay half an ETH for it. I think I'm gonna go lower. I do want to pick those up at some point, at least to show my support, not really for flipping. But low pudges. And then also, did you know this? This is relevant to you and Crypto Dream for any content creators as well in here. Nouns has a video promo contest thing going, and you can win up to $50,000 for this. I will be participating in it. It's something to do with, like, I don't even know, like bringing attention to some contest thing that they have coming up or something, but I'm gonna make a video about it. There's not that many people entering. I've heard, like, almost nobody. So there's a chance you might actually make $50,000 if you make a good video for them. So just putting that out there just because you brought Nouns.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, Nouns is very interesting. Thanks for that, Kate, and to anyone watching. Nouns is very interesting. I mean, they release one NFT a day or one NFT a week. What is it?
I think
One
it's.
NFT
I think it's.
a day.
I think it's
a day.
hours. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they've been doing it for a long time. They're an OG project. They hold an incredible floor. They always have. They've got a very strong community, and it just shows. Even in this market, we are seeing that the real OGs that were doing good to begin with are still here. The first, like Nouns was the first to do this type of drop. Yuga was the first to do what they did. Those OGs are still doing well. You did say in the market update that Pio was saying buy on the crypto side, like now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy. I do think that we maybe missed that boat. I think the time to buy was a few days ago.
I was just joking, but easy.
We have seen
there was some plays.
There were definitely big plays, but we are seeing a pullback now. What's interesting is that the stock market is quite down today, almost 2%. Yet Ethereum and Bitcoin and all of that is barely down. Bitcoin's actually quite up. So we might be seeing this decoupling. It used to be completely separate, and then all of a sudden, whatever the stock market did, the other one did. And now we're starting to see the last few days it's working sort of independently, but definitely volatile times at the moment. We're seeing that, like, really. ETH was at 1,750 yesterday, then all of a sudden at 1,550. Now it's at 1,650 or whatever. Very volatile. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get wrecked. And I mean, you got to be careful. But yeah, definitely some opportunities, but going to be interesting to see what happens.
Do Do you see the JR's comment here? JR Sports Card Chronicles has got some alpha. You guys might want to take a look at Easy Eats Bodega's mention in the Nifty stream. I would love to, except, oh wait, no, the Nifty stream. Okay, never mind. I will probably watch that later. I do like watching their show. I don't watch every show all the way through, but I do enjoy it. Cloud Poppers by Brian Brinkman. Floor already took a 2x today. Do you know anything about it? I haven't heard about that.
No, I don't.
Did you get in, JR? Did you buy in? Like, did he say that before they pumped, or did he say that after they doubled?
So before we get into, we'll wait for JR and then we'll see. Before we get into our next thing, Kate, if you lose me on the video, I'm seeing that there is a problem here. I might come back in different ways, but yeah, I'm seeing that there is potential for an issue. I'm getting some warnings over here. So let's just carry on and we'll see, but I will come back for sure. All right. So, what we got over here is Degods has secured entire Bitcoin block. They were one of the first to actually mention this. And it is very impressive. It shows that Frank is ready to pull the trigger if he needs to. So he was able to secure 535 ordinal spots on the Bitcoin protocol, and going to be interesting to see what he does with it, but good that he secured them. He also was able to secure them under 100,000 Satoshis, which is going to be notable. So they had to actually burn 535 original PFPs of Degods, which obviously were in their community wallet, and they've now put them onto the Bitcoin blockchain through Ordinals, which is very, very cool to see. I mean, effectively, they've been on Solana, moving to Polygon, and to Ethereum, and now they're also on Bitcoin. So he's definitely a bit of a blockchain hoe.
I like that.
It is cool. I like that also. I like that also.
Yo, comment below if you're a blockchain hoe as well. I'm a blockchain hoe. I'm down for it. I was in a Twitter space earlier today, and they were talking about like one of the guys was like, I'm actually going to head out of NFTs. And he goes, I'm going to go back to crypto. He's like, this Web3 world is a bit different. And I was like, isn't Web3 everything? Like Web3 is the culture of decentralization. It's like the culture though. Like I know a lot of people focus on the tech stuff, but it's really about the culture. And that's why NFTs have taken off so far and why I think they're have a much bigger lifespan and bigger size than crypto will ever have. And I don't even think it's close. But it was surprising to me that he said it in that way, because I was like, but Web3 is like an idea. It's like a whole thing, you know, like we have all these things we built on top of the idea, but Web3 as a concept is more of an idea of like, yo, people should be able to do this stuff. There should be a little bit more fairness across. It shouldn't be a top-down pyramid scheme 24/7 like the capitalistic system has set everything out to be. When we don't need it to be, when things are changing and things are getting better and faster and AI is out here, there's no reason not to take advantage of these things. And we will get to a point where it's easier and it's less friction and it'll make more sense. The incentivizations will be there by that time. The companies that have actual money and resources like the UFC or Disney or Nike, they'll finally have the things that are ready to go. And then the market will actually be ready to accept them. And it's going to be lit. But it was just surprising that he said it that way.
Yeah. No, look, I think this is great. I think all of this is the way to go. I think that the more experimentation and the more new things that are out there, the better. And I think that that's what being early is. So yeah, we did also speak in a lot of details about Bitcoin Ordinals, Bitcoin NFTs. I'm not going to rehash anything. You guys are welcome to check out those videos. If we have a look over here, I'm going to toot my own horn. I'm not going to stand up and do a dance like Cade. Let me just put it out there. I'm not happy that this failed. I just knew that it was going to fail. And I told you 100% unequivocally before this happened that it was a complete and utter waste of $6 million. I was hoping that it wouldn't fail, even though I knew it would, because in the end of the day, we keep saying we want to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web3. And, you know, these guys were trying to achieve that. But unfortunately, the execution was not there. I think the target market was not there, and it really, really didn't work out well. The first criticism is that it was a 10,000 NFT collection, of which only 4,000 were actually available to the public. That's number one. So why spend so much money to target the public and not have more NFTs available to them? The second thing is that when you went through to the QR code, if you did manage to get to the site, which a lot of people didn't, but if you did, you needed a wallet. And the average Web2 person does not have a crypto wallet. So their plan was not anyway conducive to being able to get these NFTs into Web2 people's hands. I know a lot of people who didn't realize, and they went home, like Web3 people who didn't realize and then went home 20 minutes later and were still able to claim it because all 60 million viewers didn't have a crypto wallet. And even though a lot of them scanned their QR code, they didn't know what a crypto wallet was. So these didn't end up going into the hands of the people that they were intended to go up into. Also, their advert was subpar. Yes, it was a gaming type advert, but it didn't really capture the attention of a new market. And we have seen, unfortunately, the effects of this in the floor price across the entire ecosystem. The whole DigiDaigaku ecosystem has really taken a knock. You know, Gabe here is doing a noble thing in that he's trying to onboard Web2 people into Web3. He wants gaming to move to Web3, and I'm grateful that we have people like him doing that. However, this was not the way, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, I was right. They completely threw away $6 million and possibly more because of the reputational damage that's been done.
Yeah, this was probably the worst thing that they could have done. Like, it was painfully bad. I could not believe that it redirected them to his Twitter. And I know a lot of people were upset because they were like, this was our chance to get in front of the world. You were supposed to do this. You were supposed to do that. And to those people, I say, well, first off, fuck off, because the man spent $7 million for his brand. So of course he's going to put his brand first. However, there was about 100 different things he could have done, and he picked none of them, and he chose to instead just link it to a random page with a QR code. It was terrible, dude. Why would you copy the exact same strategy that Coinbase did? Coinbase like had, you know, people sign up or whatever. It was like the biggest fucking worst. It was like terrible, dude. Like, I don't know. When you have an ad like that, if you're going to spend $7 million on an ad, you can't only have that available. There's no value exchange there. The only people who win is you. That's completely opposite of what Web3 is about. So if they were going to do a Super Bowl ad and they're like, well, it's going to be selfish too, because we're the ones paying $7 million. Like, okay, I'm cool with that. But you got to have something to offer them. And, you know, in their head, they're like, yeah, but they're going to get a free NFT. I'm like, nobody's going to get a free NFT. It's going to be a couple people like Nick who are ready for it, prepared, and like they were going to get it and they're going to sell the top and everybody else.
Yeah, so why target the Web2 market and spend $6 million when you could just target the Web3 market?
I think they have a lot of fucking money, dude. I think they have so much money.
Bro, you don't have to throw it away. I'm sorry. They do have a lot of money, but you don't have to throw it away. I mean, in the end of the day, listen, we haven't given this a second thought. But I mean, just off the top of my head, have a fucking form that someone fills out their name, their email address, their surname, and that's it. And then after the fact, okay, we got 2 million names. We are going to give 100,000 NFTs. We're going to do a live stream where we're randomly selecting names. Everyone's going to get an email with instructions on how to claim the NFT in their own time. And like whatever, if you want to onboard the masses, they did everything wrong. Everything wrong. Why spend $7 million and not even spend half like $5,000 in thinking about it, how to do it properly? Now, I'm sure they did think about it, but if this is the best that they could come up with, it's a pity, because it's a lot of money. Even if you have a lot of money, $7 million is a lot of money.
Dude, that was very well put. The strategy you just gave was really fucking smart. I'm surprised they didn't come up with that, getting their email addresses, because now that's forever.
Yeah. And then you've got that email address, and it allows you to roll it out at the right time without the person. So the person's entered, and now they get an email a few days later. Look, you got a week. This is how you can claim it if you won, and so on and so forth. Look, I don't charge $7 million for consulting. Something like that, a half an hour consultation to come up with something like that, you'd be looking at about $2,000-$3,000. And if you plan on spending $7 million, that $3,000 could make that $7 million go a lot further. So if you need anything, feel free to contact me, coldud@iafrica.com.
Yeah, that was rough, dude. I have a hard time coming with anything positive as well. Crypto Dream, I see your comment there. There was not a whole lot great about that. I swear to fucking God, we need to hash this out right here, right now. Was the ad not publicly stated that it would be at the halftime show? I swear to God that I went through a Mandela effect here, because I was 1000% sure it was at halftime. So sure, in fact, that instead of watching the first half, which I was going to do, I ended up instead walking around and getting stoned and going to the gym and getting food, because that was the plan if I didn't watch the first half. and I'm out there chilling, eating Chipotle, and I get all these Twitter notifications about people, oh, I missed it. And I was like, wait, what? Missed what? And I was like, oh, there must have been like an extra benefit or an extra credit thing earlier. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll still make it for the halftime show. Come back, and everyone's like, no, there is no halftime thing. And I was like,
look, I didn't hear that it was going to be halftime. I don't know that they specified. I don't know if they know before. Another thing that Gabe did was he tweeted the link before the advert showed.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, like a few seconds before. What's the point of spending $7 million to get a new target market and then you tweet out the link to the Web3 market? I don't understand. This is mind-blowing to me. It was mind-blowing before. Even if they had a form and collected names and the chances of, but I mean, this was really, really bad. And again, I mean, I'm not happy about it. I love Web3, and here's a company that's trying to move us forward. I just wish it's sort of like the Porsche feeling, the way Porsche rolled out. I just wish they had chosen a different approach and done it better, because it was such an opportunity, such a wasted opportunity.
So here's what I think we can do. So this stream is perfect because I feel like we're saying what needs to be said. The only thing, because we can have an impact on this for sure, like for a fact, because I know I've had a couple of companies reach out that were from the normal world that were really successful, that they saw my random YouTube videos, like got 400 views kind of thing. And it's possible, but like we have to be actually making that content so they're aware of it. I feel like a lot of people on Twitter are screaming and shouting about it, maybe even having, some TikToks or videos. But I feel like if you want these people to see it, I still believe that YouTube might be the best. Like maybe TikTok too, but I still feel like YouTube videos, making a dedicated video. Like yesterday I filmed one about, and I used the UFC as an example, and I used Rug Radio as an example of a decentralized media ecosystem that everyone is elevated and raised. They all have their own autonomous hosts that do their own thing in the same way that the UFC has their own autonomous athletes. Even though they're all under contract, they all can do their side gigs, they can have their side businesses, but everybody wins. The UFC has this whole inbound of people that, anyways, I made this whole video, and the intention there was to be like, yo, here's an example of how they could do it, blah, blah, blah. But then it was also like, yo, hopefully the UFC or someone who watches the UFC or works the UFC sees this video, gets an idea, and says, wait, we haven't thought about it that way. We're actually working on it right now. We've been working on it for 6 months behind the scenes. We should call him and see what else he has to say. I think there's a lot of power in that, and I don't think that they're going to know about it unless people like us actually making that content. So for anyone here who's a content creator, I say make that video and just put it out there. Even if it gets 12 views, one of the 12 views might be someone who works at the UFC. So I want these people to see it, and I want Disney to see it. I want Starbucks to see it. So I'm going to be making videos to these companies as well in hopes that they see it. To try and bring a little bit more quality, because you're right. We've seen a bunch of dud projects from some of the top companies that should not have dud projects. I think they did it too early. And because they did it too early, they also did it wrong. And if they were going to do it early, there's a way that you have to do it. And it's not going to be conducive, or it's not going to be like in line with what they probably should do. But if they're going to be this early, they have to kind of go in with the Web3 mentality of like what Web3 is today. If they want to do what Web3 is going to be in 5 years, that's fine. But they just need to be like more educated on like what's working, what's not, what people like, and where we are at the current state of the NFT market, because there's a certain set of values and things that people are looking for today that they will not be looking for next year when we're here doing this stream in a year from now or 2 years from now. It won't be the same conversations likely. And I just want these companies to like know what's good, because in my personal opinion, there's just no way that like a random PFP project that was started in Web3 with the only benefit of being in there is the fact that it was a Web3 company. But if someone like a Disney or a bigger company comes through, they actually have resources and they actually have a value exchange that people want. Like, for example, if Disney threw an event, people will go because they get the value of it being a Disney event and they like Disney and they have, probably their whole lifetime watching Disney videos, versus a random PFP project that dropped 6 months ago that you spent $150 to mint. There's no thing keeping you there. And so the lifespan of those projects compared to the Disney, compared to the UFC, companies like that, it's just very slim. So if you want to like insert yourself in a good position, you want to obviously have a personal brand, but you want to have a brand where they're like, yo, that person's fucking smart. We need to have a contact with that person. And that's just my 2 cents for the day. Oh shit. Wait, did Philip pop out? Oh, I thought Philip was just putting me full screen so I could ramble. I think Philip just got rugged, fam. It looks like Cade will be taking over the Web3 show instead of Philip taking over the Web3 show. I guess I'll just keep going with it. But anyways, what I was going with that is that like I still am making the content for the DGens and the people in Web3. Obviously, I'll still make that content. I'm still making a lot of Web3 gaming content, Metaverse content, because ultimately the Web3 Metaverse, the Metaverse is where I want to end up anyway. The Metaverse is what I'm most interested in, the VR, the virtual experiences. I want to be part of it. Experiences are where it's at. That's where I want to try. That's where I'm trying to insert myself. So I'm like, okay, which companies are going to put me closer? The UFC, because they partner with Meta, Facebook, because Mark Zuckerberg picked up MMA. He loves MMA. Now they're trying to do UFC VR Meta partnership thing. UFC also partnered with Prime Energy, a content creator brand that was built from Logan Paul and KSI, because it's a really good product. They understand marketing, and they're not scared to try something new, even though they know they're going to get fudded to shit for it. The UFC is infamous for saying fuck off and doing whatever they want. And they're so powerful, in fact, that this is not a good, well, actually, this is a bad thing, but they're so decentralized and strong that it doesn't even matter that Dana White, their current founder or the current CEO guy, like literally has like a domestic abuse charge against him from like his family. That whole video is circulating where he hit his wife. A terrible thing. Should have absolutely been probably fired for it, but he wasn't. And it shows the power of the UFC's brand, how decentralized it is. It's like Dana White is neither here nor there. If they fired him, it would be a big deal for a couple of weeks. We'd all move on. It doesn't even matter, right? Same thing with all the fighters. Conor McGregor leaves. Everyone makes a big deal of it for 2 weeks, and then it's over. You guys remember, you saw the World Cup. Messi. Everyone's talking about it. A week after the World Cup, not a single fucking word about Messi. People forgot about it, and they moved on. Everything in the world didn't matter except the World Cup final. And then when it ended, everyone moved on. That's how it works, right? And a decentralized model, that's the future I think we're headed to for business and capitalization. You know, it's not a question of like if, it's a question of when. It's coming. We are in a capitalistic world. People have a capitalistic mindset. Until we get hit with a thing like, I don't know, the AI making this thing where capitalization is now, eradicated from human civilization, we will always be capitalists. That's just how it works, because we can. Like, when humans can take, they will. And so, yeah. Does he actually own the UFC Crypto Dream? I don't. So that's the thing I don't know. I don't know all the details about that. I'm pretty sure he does own a big stake in it. So that's why he's able to do whatever he wants. But the idea, the fact that like, it's like the narrative, like it's all about the narrative and what people perceive to be the reality, and if you want to have a long career in this world, especially in Web3, Metaverse, VR, it's probably not going to be random PFP project. It's probably going to be one of these more legitimate companies, just because they have more funds, they have more money. That's why Cool Man's Universe, I'm investing in that project, because they doubled their team in the middle of a bear market. How many companies cut their team in half? And they're like, no, dude, we have a full company, a full brand, where TikTok's actual main account posted a video from Cool Man's Universe, or from Coffee Man Dan. Like, he's a whole ass brand outside of Web3. That's why it makes sense. But anyways, did you get rugged? Is that why he disappeared? I thought you were giving me the mic for a second, and after a minute, I stopped talking.
I heard.
Philip?
So I could hear everything you were saying, but I couldn't talk. So first of all, I'd like to correct, this is not Kate taking over. Although I appreciate Kate so much, because if he wasn't with me here, it would just be dead air. And so well done, my brother. So I told you I tried a new thing, which I've now swapped back. I do realize what the issue is, and I will be working on it. But look, we're learning. I was very happy with how it was going. So now we're back to the previous camera. But yeah, I did learn a hang of a lot. So that's good. Let's get straight back into. Thanks, Kate. I appreciate you adjusting. This man is a professional. I'm too big and you too small now. This man is a professional, and I love him with all my heart. All right, let's talk about it. So we've got Superplastic NFT, which I've spoken about quite often. I mean, obviously, everything is my opinion and not financial advice, but they're a great Web2 company. They actually the guys that did this Yuga Labs plastic toy that I ended up finally getting after all this time. This is done
can you make
by
yourself full screen. I can't see anything.
Okay, let me make myself full screen.
So tiny.
Hold on.
Oh, that's that fucking figurine, dude. I saw that.
Yeah. He's big. He's big, and yeah, man, he's pretty cool. I mean, so this was done by Superplastic, the Web2 company, Superplastic. Now I've spoken about them before many times. They've got a very successful Web2 company, and I'm quite bullish on them. And it seems that I'm not the only one who's bullish on them, because Amazon has just invested $20 million into Superplastic. Now, we did cover that Amazon is coming into Web3 a couple of weeks ago, which is really, really bullish. There have been rumors that it's going to be through gaming. There's other rumors that it's through NFT marketplace, and so on and so forth. But what we do have is that Superplastic has raised $20 million, led by Amazon, to make TV shows and more. So it's going to be using Janky and Gugamon. I'm sure you guys have heard of the NFT collection Janky Haze by Superplastic, but basically these guys are going to be doing a Web3 TV show with Amazon, and it's another way of Amazon getting into the Web3 space, one of the many ways that they're doing, and I'm sure there'll also be a merch side to it. But yeah, I've been very bullish on Superplastic for a very, very long time, and yeah, I'm pretty bullish on this news in general.
So, yes, two things. I'm one, breaking news / alpha. Literally right now, I just got an email from Coinbase saying claim a free NFT and discover Web3 by adding Matic to your Web3 wallet. Get an NFT reward for a limited time only. A special edition.
Don't do it, bro. It could be bullshit as well.
That's the thing. So I don't know if this is real. It's from info@mail.coinbase.com. There's no spelling errors. Would like to know if anyone else got this email, because I assume they sent it to everybody. And would love to know if this is real, because if it is, then I definitely want to claim it. And then also with the Amazon thing, dude, Amazon coming into Web3 space. This is a clear example when people are talking about a lot of people say this on Twitter, which I don't understand, because they're literally shooting themselves in the foot. They're like, we need Web3 to be so good that like nobody knows is Web3. I'm like, bro, fucking obviously, yes, the tech needs to be there. But there's so much more to NFTs than just that. Like, of course, there's so much more. That's why we're all here. And to wish that away, I'm like, bro, what are you doing here if you wish that away? If you don't want any of this, then get out. You know, like and especially the gamer, I see so many gamers saying, we need this, we don't need that. I'm like, bro, at what point are you just talking about normal gaming? Like, why are you even in blockchain gaming if you hate everything about it and you hate everything's a terrible L? But Amazon coming in and partnering with these companies and basically giving depth to their brand and offering ways to kind of get people to stay for more reasons than just the value exchange, because the value exchange is there. But what happens when another company comes and offers the exact same value exchange? Then it's going to be about your personal brand and what incentives you offer from an emotional standpoint. And if Amazon has a really cool brand that they've built now through NFTs and Web3, that's something you're holding on to, because now they have all this value. They continue to innovate every couple of years. They've also got an NFT project with amazing incentives for people who care about that in that sector of the world. And they're going to be building towards the metaverse and all these other things. And I'm sure Amazon will be leading the charge for things that maybe aren't as like fun, but they're doing some really cool things from a tech standpoint. And I don't know, man, I'm really excited. I'm glad these big companies are coming in, dude. It's really fun. It's really fun. And also the amount of companies that have come in after the market has completely tumbled to shit and everyone's still talking shit. And I'm like, bro, the amount of comments I still get for people saying NFTs are dead. And I'm like, yo, y'all really have no idea. Like, y'all really have no idea.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I would be very careful with that Coinbase thing. I do think, when we heard Coinbase was doing NFTs, that was like the most bullish news we ever knew. And, we all did videos on it, and it turned out to be a nothing burger. Amazon's coming into Web3. It is massive news. It's probably the biggest news that we've heard in a while. However, execution-wise, how long is it going to take? We don't know. The immediate effect, we don't know. But it's just, it's another example. I mean, every week there's another 2-3 massive companies that we cover, just you and I, that are coming head on into Web3. We saw Renault invest $3 billion. That's still the most bullish news I've ever heard in their own industrial metaverse. It's just absolutely crazy. But this Superplastic brand I've always liked. Obviously not a paid review. They do a lot of these figurines like the one I showed you. I'm trying to get to that place on their website where you can see the physical stuff you can buy, but they're quite cool, and they're already a very successful Web2 company. They've done collabs with Gucci and things like that in the Web2 world. So yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to see a project that I've supported for a very long time and have been quite bullish on, being here, getting this Alexa Fund 20 million raise with Amazon.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, also, Crypto Dream said he's checking Coinbase, and I don't know what he just sent me, but
Crypto Dream, just don't click anything, please, my brother.
Be careful with that.
Okay, you shouldn't even mention shit like that on a stream, because we don't know if it's, and usually the way it sounds, it's usually rubbish when it comes
I'm
through
trying to see
like
if
that.
they've said anything. I don't see anything on Coinbase's official Twitter.
Official Twitter, yeah, exactly. I mean, just be careful. Don't Crypto Dream, please don't click anything, brother.
Yeah, be super careful with that.
All right. Then another bullish big Web2 brand, we've got Puma. Puma's already been in the space. They haven't been doing much. They had their Nitro Pass. We'll go have a look at it. They've had that for quite a while sitting there. You know me, I'm a very, very big Clone X Nike believer in Web3. And then, Adidas, I still hold my PFP of the Adidas 1 and 2. So Puma in my mind has always been number 3 as far as Web 2 clothing brands that are in Web 3. Because if you just look at the market cap of Nike versus the market cap of Adidas versus Puma, it goes in that order. Nike's the biggest, then Adidas, and quite a far way down is Puma. Now that doesn't mean that they can't, overtake Adidas. Puma can't overtake Adidas and Nike in Web 3. It's unlikely that they're going to overtake them in Web 2, but nice to see that they're coming out with an NFT collection specifically for the 75th anniversary. It's going to be this old character of theirs that used to be their character in an old series, which is quite cool. I always like nostalgia in the Web 3 space. And this guy that you're looking at, he was first published in Super Puma comics in the 70s. So I always like that. You know me, I'm a collector at heart, and I like to see when brands are embracing that side of it. It's going to be a 10,000 collection. 4,000 is going to be airdropped to people who own the Puma Nitro NFT, which we'll go look at now. Another 2,000 is going to be airdropped to the 10KTF community, which is quite bullish because that means that there's something going on between Puma and 10KTF. And then 4,000 will be available to the public through a whitelist, right? So that's the basic facts about this. And yeah, just an interesting one to see.
Yes. I love that as well. I love the little character that they have. I think that's fucking awesome, actually. They're taking some notes from VFriends, it seems like. But 10K, that's interesting. I wonder, PUMA.
That is interesting.
That's very interesting. I'm not sure. Do you have any thoughts on like what that potentially could be?
My initial feeling would be something to do with, that Puma, that 10KTF has got their store where you can do backpacks and stuff like that, or shoes or caps with NFTs on. Maybe they've done a deal together where after they launch this collection, Wagmi-san will open the shop to allow some merch with their new Puma, Super Puma logo on. That would be my inkling, but I have no knowledge of it whatsoever, and I don't know, but that would be my inkling.
Yeah, I can't think of one. I don't know what it would be. If anyone has any thoughts on that, definitely let us know, because I do not have anything. Also, I see Janix saying don't have anything in emails on the Coinbase app.
Here's the whitelist, guys. If you want to join up, you go to puma.eth. So let's just show you over here. It's just at Puma. So the thing I'm looking at, people can put any name they want at top, but you want it to be at Puma is the thing that matters, and it's got a gold tick, right? And if you go there, there's a thread about this drop, and you'll see here, I'm discovering it with you. As you scroll down within that thread, there's links to the whitelist raffle as well as the Nitro collection, which we're going to look at, but I actually haven't entered this, so I want to do that. So let's do that. Okay, we got to follow them on Twitter, so let's do that.
And their mint price, I don't know if you said this, but their mint price is 0.15 ETH.
Yeah, so I am following them already. We're going to retweet this. Now, there is a problem that when I join the Discord, when I'm streaming, my audio gets messed up. But I'm going to do it. So if it gets messed up, I'm sorry. Once it gets unmessed up, I'll come back. Kate, let me know when I start sounding funny.
I will.
Wait for it. As Discord opens.
It's going to happen.
You'll see now. It's like I can take the 10th helium.
Hey!
And then you'll see I start
there it
like
is.
a bit of a helium guy. Give it a second. It's going to go crazy. Has it gone crazy yet?
Still shit.
Yeah,
got shit about ago.
That's what happens. Okay, so I'm already Am I already in? I'm already in. All
Hey.
right, so let's see if I say click to register. Let's see what happens. Let it check everything. Boom, registered. Let's close Discord. And hopefully within a few seconds, my sound will come back.
Where did you find
How's
that?
my sound there, Cad?
Where it's good. It's good. Where did you find that pre-mint link you said?
So it's on PUMA's page, and then they've got this tweet. It says, "We're proud to celebrate our 75th anniversary," and then it's a thread. And then about 5 down into there, you'll see it's got the official waitlist raffle. And then here's the Nitro collection, which guarantees you whitelist, sitting at 0.44. That's way, way up. So obviously, I'm not, some people have. You can see here the last couple of days has really, really gone up. They were sitting
also, you
at
need to have 0.05 ETH in your wallet, by the way. For people who did not know, you need 0.05 ETH in your wallet at the time that you sign this thing. So, or like the time that
I actually like that. That helps a hang of a lot, bro, with bots.
It's true.
That really, really helps.
Yeah.
So I mean that's really quite bullish. In general, look, a 10,000 collection in this market, even if you are PUMA, is quite a lot. In my mind, yes, there have been the sum of the blue chips pumping, but overall, that volume is all going to the big couple of collections. There's not much happening everywhere else. So yes, there are opportunities with the bigger collections, and 1 or 2 mints here and there that are really taking off. But for the most part, the market, to me, it's just my own feeling, is still very, very depressed and very, very down.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say, speaking of whitelists and like getting into these things, Seedify has an NFT coming out very soon. And the annoying thing about their project is you have to buy it with their SNFTs, which is like their coin or whatever. And I was able to do it. I got whitelisted through the Doge Pounds, but there's a big opportunity for you guys who, if you guys know, Seedify is a massive, massive platform, but they are having a drop coming in like 3 days, but you can still enter that. There's also quite a few communities that have been able to get whitelisted. Just check out the communities that you think might have access to it, that are part of like Seedify's thing. And they have a drop coming in soon, which is going to be really cool. The mint's like $200. I expect it'll do well. They just did a whole AMA with Champ, and it got like 1,000 people in there. So we'll see how it does. But it just kind of came to my mind of other things happening. But the PUMA thing's cool, dude. I can't believe their thing pumped to 0.44. So it looks like people have forgotten about how shitty the first round was. And they're like, fuck it, PUMA's going to win this time.
So look, the interesting thing about PUMA is in my opinion, their Web3 rollout hasn't been as bad as it did us, to be quite honest. I mean, you were able at least to claim your shoes from PUMA for free. I mean, even Nike charged you for those, right? So Puma's actually, they've done pretty well in my opinion, considering. I mean, they way in Web2, they way under Nike and Adidas, but in Web3 they definitely doing, in my mind, a bit better than Adidas. So interesting. I am still getting used to it. This is my birthday present from Bianca. What you're seeing here, these are the AirPods Pro 2, the latest ones, the very latest ones. So the nice thing about them is you can change the volume on here, which you could never do before. So that's very, very cool. The other thing is that they almost double the battery life to the previous ones, which is really cool. And the other thing, the noise cancellation you used to have on the old ones, I don't know if I'm imagining things, because I love that noise cancellation. But when they said they were launching these, the noise cancellation on the other ones got worse. Now, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if Apple can do that or did do that or whatever. But these have now got that proper noise cancellation again. Because, I've actually got tinnitus, which is like constant ringing in the ears. And these earphones, just even when I'm not streaming, I live with these earphones on. At work, I live with them. I speak on my phone with them. If I want to hear people, you just hold this down. And now there's no noise cancellation. I can hear everything around me. Hold it down again. And then there's full noise cancellation. I can't hear anything around me. You can do volume. You can go up and down. You can speak to Siri. So that was my birthday present, number one. And number two, you may notice that there's no more staining on my fingers because your friend has stopped smoking. Since Monday, I have not had a cigarette. So you're talking about 25 years of smoking. I was smoking near the end 60 to 70 cigarettes a day, so chain smoking. For the last couple of years, I've got my own business, so I sit in my own office. I do what I want. I smoke all day. I would sit outside here and smoke all day, literally going through 3 to 4 boxes a day for the last God knows how long. And I said, I'm stopping. I said to Bianca, I'm turning 40 and I want to stop. She never in any way said anything to me. The kids have never said a word to me. But, just seeing my dad suffer with COVID and not, and how much you need your lungs and your body, I just thought to myself, I'm getting older now. It's time to look after my health. So this is the first step. The next step after this is going to be, I'm going to start exercising, but I'm just getting past this. I'll tell you something honestly, bro. I didn't expect it to be so hard. I've got a very, very strong mind. And that first day, Monday, every second I was reaching for the box, just like subconsciously, because I'm so used to doing it. And as I got in the car, and it was really, really quite tough, and still a bit tough, but every day is getting easier, definitely. But I'm really, really proud because I made it a learning thing for the kids. I said to the children that, you should rather not start things that are bad for you. Like smoking is bad for dad, because if you never start, you never have to stop. And stopping is very difficult when you're used to something. And I made it a lesson. And I did that for me too, because I've been telling them for months, when dad turns 40, he's stopping, because I knew that pressure of me promising them would really make me. And that's also why I posted on my Twitter that I'm stopping, because I thought the more people I tell, the less chance of me going back on it. But that first day was not harder than I thought, really. But I haven't had a cigarette since Monday.
Dude, fucking congrats on that. That's insane. Man, dude, 25 years. Like I remember I had a dab pen for like 6 months, and stopping that was difficult, very difficult. And so I know, well, I don't know, but like that is very fucking impressive. That first day, I bet, the fucking just the muscle memory of just constantly, like, that's why people like the smoke. Like, I wish there was a way to smoke that you didn't actually inhale anything, but you just got to breathe in something and breathe out. Like that motion is nice. But dude, congrats to you on that. I love that. And it comes from like a deep place. That's why I'm glad to see you post it too. Some people post it because they want the flex from it, but I know you've been talking about it and you were telling your kids about it too. It's like, that's really cool that that you're able to turn it into a learning lesson. They're definitely going to remember that. My whole family is plagued with fucking people who smoke as well. So I know my entire family, it is fucked. Like my parents, both my mom stopped at a certain point because she was like, this is bad. My grandpa, her dad, from Japan, like they're hardcore fucking smokers in Japan. That man was smoking probably as much as you know, just some left like that. And one day my mom was like, look, we have kids now, so if you want to see them, you got to stop smoking. And he was like, fine. And he just knew what was important, and it sounds like you did too. So I'm fucking proud of you, man. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you. And I've been channeling my dad a lot, because my dad used to smoke. I don't know when he stopped. He stopped like 20, 30 years ago, but he smoked when I was born, for sure, because I've got pictures of when I was young, sitting on my dad's lap with my dad having a cigarette. I mean, it was also different in those days. You used to be able to smoke in movie theaters. You used to smoke in airplanes. You used to smoke in hospitals. They didn't even realize it was so bad.
In the airplane, in the sky?
Yeah. That's why there's some old airplanes. There's still ashtrays in the arm. There's still ashtrays in the armrest.
Holy shit!
So I'm just trying to think. He probably stopped when I was around 10, and I'm now 40. So he stopped 30 years ago, and he was 74 when he passed away, and that was 2 years ago. So he would be 76. So he stopped when he was 45, 46. And I always remember him telling the story. His story was, he said he went for he had bronchitis or something. He went to the doctor, and the doctor said to him, "Listen, you are getting the beginning of emphysema. If you keep smoking, you're gonna die. Like, maybe not immediately, but if you keep." And he stopped there and then. Also, was a chain smoker, 60 a day. Also, strong mind, and never ever picked up again. And made it look effortless. Now, when I used to smoke, and he didn't, obviously, and we would like go for suppers or whatever, he would say to me, I would never do it, but I wish I could have a puff with you. So he always had that, but he also he was a very strong-minded guy. So I mean, seeing how hard it was, it just made me look at his decision differently, like positively. Like he never complained, he stopped, and that was it. He's made up his mind. So yeah, it's been a very introspective. You turn 40, Kate, and you start thinking like, what have I achieved? What could I do better? Like there's a couple of things that I've taken on. Like the not smoking was the biggest, but a couple of other things that, I'm going to call this person more often, and like family member, I'm not spending more time. And I've just been introspecting. I've just been thinking like, yes, I'm proud of a lot of things, but there's also a lot of things that I feel that I could do better, and I want to try. I don't want to overwhelm myself and take on too much too quickly, but yeah, I'm definitely doing things. I'm doing things at the moment.
So fucking high. It's so great to hear. Really happy for you.
Thank you, my brother. Your old Fred, man. Soon we're going to have to move the show 4 hours earlier because I'm going to be having dinner at 5 p.m. They've got that special 5 p.m. dinner when you get old, where what's it, a pensioners. Pensioners. No, I'm joking. I'm far away from that. I'm still feeling young and all good.
Oh.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Do you have one bit of life alpha for turning 40? While we're on this topic,
I think that, yeah, I think, and this is to me also, and I haven't achieved this. I think you can't be so busy just coping and surviving and just getting through the day to day that you forget to smell the flowers, right? To actually stop and appreciate your family and your children, the things that really matter, not just family and children, just in general. And I'm guilty of this. I'm reacting from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. I really am. There's so much to get through every single day. And then, last week, Kate, the amount of things that went wrong at work is just unbelievable. Like my electricity board blew up because of the generator, literally blew up. We had no power. My website went offline. My car had to go in for 3 days. I had no car, and it was the worst rains we've seen. Like every day you're just freaking reacting. This one's order's delayed. This one's stuck in customs. It gets to 10 o'clock at night and you haven't stopped. I think I need to stop and smell the roses a bit more and enjoy a bit more. Like take my foot off the pedal slightly, tiny bit, and spend that extra half an hour reading the kids an extra book. And like that's what I would say is don't just be so busy in the rat race that you forget to stop and breathe and enjoy and appreciate, whether it's a sunset, like touch grass once in a while. Touch grass, no matter what stage you're at. Just stop and enjoy the things that are passing you by. A sunset, your wife, your children, a friend. Pick up a phone to a friend that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Stuff like that. That would be
beautiful. That's beautiful. I've actually been on that exact wave the past like month or so. I think I also noticed how much I was reacting to everything. And that even changed my content. I was like, man, I haven't made a video where I just spitballed in front of the camera and just said what I wanted to say. I'm always making a video about someone else's achievement or someone else's news announcement. And I was like, man. And I also noticed that I wasn't stopping to like, even for 10 minutes to just chill. I live in the city and like I live right next to the harbor. I live right next to the boat harbor. I live right next to all these beautiful things. And I didn't take the time to go and explore and run around. So then a week ago, I bought a fucking electric scooter. I put this on Twitter so I could zoom around anywhere I want now. As fast as I want, I can get to anywhere I want, and the reason I bought the scooter is because I like scootering, and it's fun to actually be there scootering as I'm zooming through the streets, because I can take a bus, but I want to actually scooter so I can see everything in real time as it's going, and then when I get there, chill with the book or a blunt. Like I like to smoke weed while I read; it's really nice, and I just chill there for like an hour, and I never used to do that before. I never gave myself the permission to like spend an hour doing something that wasn't productive because it just ate me fucking alive. And then when I started to do that, I realized this is like the secret, is to give yourself that hour because it releases all this extra weight on you and it allows you to go back to the workplace and get things done and not be crazy and always complain and, upset that you don't have time for yourself you literally have to force yourself to do it because otherwise you won't do it. So that's
exactly. And I do think that, in theory, you'll actually achieve more you'll be more productive when you come back, and what would take 5 hours will take 3 hours. So that 1 hour that you spent, you're actually saving an hour.
Exactly.
Like, I think that's the irony of it. I've been so focused on, let's get from point A to point B. What's point B? Fully retire, fully retire. So just be able to do what I enjoy all day, whether that's flipping homes, which I really do enjoy, whether that's YouTube, which I really do, and Web3 space, just quit my day job and fully retire, right? That's been it. So I thought, look, if I go 100 miles an hour and don't stop, I'll be able to do that by the time that I'm 40. Now I'm 40, and I can't do that, because if you look at it, the amount of money that you need to comfortably retire and still live beautifully like we live, and not have any income for the next 40 years and just live off the interest of the amount of money I've saved is difficult, especially with 3 children in really, really good private schools, and whatever it may be to keep our standard of living. So you say, okay, maybe now I need to just, even if it's half an hour every single day, just stop and enjoy a bit, even if that delays that inevitable goal a little bit, a couple of months, a couple of years. And as we said, it probably won't, because that half an hour will make me more productive in the rest of it.
Soul. But it feeds your actual soul, which doesn't get fed when you're doing work. Your work does not feed your soul. The only thing that feeds your soul is taking time out to do something you want to do. And plus, not even just the time you get back, plus the actual feeling inside of knowing that you took an hour for yourself and you got to enjoy it and do something that you want to do, whether that's a workout class or a yoga class or whatever. It's really, really powerful stuff. And if you don't do that, you'll fly through 3 months of your life and not even know what happened and not remember what happened. And the
you'll fly through 40 years of your life.
I through it, bro. Now I have a schedule.
People say burnout, bro. I've never been burnt out, and I go full on.
I never had a schedule like this, and the amount of benefits I've come from me giving myself an extra hour a day to just not think allows me to kind of be like, yo, I need to do this. I need to have that. I need to go ahead and accomplish this real quick and just get it done. It's changed my entire life, and I got a schedule, and this thing has made my life 1,000 times more productive.
100%. So you need to get a better schedule than that.
We've got John here. Schedule's on my computer. But
exactly. I use my kind of, we got John saying all about balance. We got Crypto Dream saying it's scary that you just go, and you don't smell the roses. You don't get there. Look, I do enjoy life. We go on holiday every year for 3 weeks. I do switch off always. Bianca and I go on date nights at least once every 2 weeks. Just her and I will go out somewhere. Just the two of us. Obviously, we spend time together every night, just the two of us. But I'm saying we'll specifically go on date nights and things like that. So there are certain things that are important. I'm not saying like working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But yeah, I'm just saying, to take things in the stride. I was going to show you my calendar. A big part of everything is I schedule absolutely everything. So I just use Outlook. It's more than good enough for me. So on my iPad, phone, and computer, all synced. So no matter where I am, I just change it, I move it, can reschedule it, can have it reoccurring or whatever. And that's a big part of what I do. Everything's written down so that, like, when I'm going to bed at night, I'm not thinking about anything because I know it's all there. And if I do think of something, I just quickly go on my phone, put it in, and then I can go to bed and relax, But scheduling stuff is really, really important. I think, like, when I was in my 20s, like you, and I identify a lot with you, also starting my own business, giving everything to it, doing well in that. I see a lot of building my own brand, but I also used to smoke a hang of a lot of weed, just like my friend Cade, a lot of weed, and a lot. So, but I was always organized. So I would pre-roll the joints the night before. So I'd have a cigarette box with like 20 joints in it, so that because I'm busy during the day, I don't have time to roll the joints. So I'd have them pre-rolled. One of the effects, after in the beginning it's really nice, but then nothing really happens. And one of the negative long-term effects was my short-term memory got to shit. But one of the positive things about that was that I started scheduling everything because I thought, listen, I didn't forget everything, but I might forget this. Let me write everything down. So I wrote everything down. So that got me into a good habit now, where I do and now my short-term memory is back because I haven't smoked weed for a very long time. But I mean, I do still schedule. So that's one of the good things about weed. The good side effect about weed is that it kills your short-term memory, but that makes you get organized.
The goal with weed is at some point to not be smoking it every day like the way I am. I only smoke it because I know, like, the culture around smoking weed and chilling out and like smoking a blunt and like watching the sunset. I like that. I don't ever want to not be able to do that by completely quitting. Like I like weed. I generally like it. The problem is it's very seductive, and you will almost always lose that battle. If you're offered weed, it's very hard to say no, because it's like not. You
Look,
can
I
even
think
it's really hard.
you get people with different personalities. You get some people, as same with smoking cigarettes or alcohol or weed or whatever. Get some people that can literally have one. Let's talk about cigarettes, because we were talking about cigarettes.
Yeah.
But it applies the same. They could literally have one cigarette on a Friday night when they at a friend's house, and never think of it again, and enjoy that cigarette, or one drink or one joint once a week, or yeah. Then you get people like me who can't do that. Yeah. Anything I do is either extreme or not at all. So it might start as one cigarette on a Friday night, but then it becomes a cigarette on a Saturday night. Then it becomes eventually 70 cigarettes a day chain smoking. That's that's how everything works with me. Like if you drop me at a casino, bro, I won't see you until someone picks me up and drags me out of there. I swear to God, that's why I don't go to the casino anymore, because I would be there forever. Forget whether I win or lose. I just would never leave. I mean, I'm like that. So knowing that, I wish I could just have a joint. One joint here or there, or one cigarette. I can't. It doesn't work like that. So I'm the type of person that, unfortunately, anything I give my time to better be positive, because after a while I'm doing a lot of it. But if you're the type of person that could just have a joint here or there, I think that's amazing. I mean, if you have one cigarette a week, or even if you have one cigarette a day, literally one cigarette a day, this is not health advice, but if you literally had one cigarette a day, I don't think you'd see any negative health effect in your whole life. Because I've had 60 a day for 20 years. That's more than one a day for 120 years.
True.
And you know,
your skin looks good, dude. Your hair looks good. Your skin, like, I don't even understand how that's possible. But I'm with you, dude. Like for me, I'm okay if I still smoke every day, but I don't want to ever go back to what I was going through at the beginning of my YouTube career when the NFT bull run was going off, guys. It was a joke, because I like all my videos I was smoking, and it was like cool, you know, it was like the vibes, whatever. The studio was cool. But let me tell y'all, I was smoking all day, every day for like a year straight, and it was awful. It was terrible. It got to a point where the weed was not good. I didn't look forward to it, but I couldn't help it. I had the dab pen on me. It was miserable. But I knew I'm the same with you. I know that I'm extreme either way, one or the other, but I also am very confident in my mental, and I know that I can mold my mental, and I have done so every year. There's always a couple things that I have to completely reassess everything and, like, you know, really test myself. And I know that I can get to a point where I'm not one or the other. It's not going to be smoking all day or nothing. I know I can get to a point where I can just enjoy one blunt, because I know in the past 6 months I've gotten better. I've gotten to a point where I don't smoke every day. And I've gotten to, you know, get to like 1 or 2 sessions where, like, I'm walking to the gym, I stop and chill out and like look at the sunset before I smoke a third of a joint real quick while I'm going to the gym, come out, I read for a little bit, I smoke a little bit, and I'm good. And like, I think I can get to a point where I can really get that down to 1. So I don't. Anyways, that was a whole ass thing about about weed and smoking for the last.
Crypto G, don't tell anyone. And he's posting it on a YouTube thing.
Clip that. Somebody clip it.
I couldn't see it until I made it bigger. And then whatever got you, Alex. But if you can do that, Kate, then that's great, bro. If you can get it to that level where you literally can do that, then that's great. Because the truth of the matter is, when I was smoking so much weed, it had the first one in the morning maybe has a tiny effect. Right. And after that, it has absolutely no effect. Whereas if you stop for a year and then have one, you're going to be sitting there giggling and enjoying life and looking at the roses, right? But if you overuse anything, it doesn't have that effect. It's the same as anything. It's the same as sex. If you're sleeping with everyone and you don't care about anyone you're sleeping with, you end up hating the people you sleep with and yourself, because you're misusing something. You're overusing something that's not meant to be used that way, right? Yeah. I don't know if that's the best example. I mean, if you're in a committed relationship and you love your significant other, I don't know if there's ever. I just like it's kind of the same with like NFTs. Like, I like the culture of NFTs, and I kind of like the culture of weed. If you can get away from the daily constant smoking of the stoner life, you can get away from that. Weed is actually, I think it's kind of beautiful. Like, I've had opportunities to really like take it in and be like, wow, this is awesome. I really like that I'm able to do this. And have weed be part of the experience, and it really adds to it. And I'm down to do both. Like, I've gone through months where I'm completely sober, stone cold sober, and I really enjoy that as well. I just know that I don't want to be dream. Don't start crazy.
Yeah, don't start the craze. But I don't want to get to a point where, like, if I do smoke,
the truth of the matter is that's the part that gets people back in, Cade, is people think, oh, you know, this time around I can just have one. right? I could just have one once a week. Now, if you can do that, that's great. There's a few people I know that can do that, but most people can't. These things are addictive, and you'll think you can. Your mind will tell you can. You'll have one, and then before you know it, you'll be sneaking out every night and having one every night and every day, and your wife will be divorcing you, and your children will be leaving you, and whatever. So just be. I'm talking to Crypto Chief over here.
Depends why you're smoking and how much mental strength you have.
But it depends how you, not even how much mental strength you have, how you wired. I think that there's some people, I'm very, very strong-minded, and I said I was going to have one cigarette on the way to work and one on the way back, and I'm having 70 I was having 70 a day, and I could stop when I did. Cold, no funny books, no medicine, no patches, no vape, no bullshit, no nothing, like proper withdrawal symptoms like stops. Okay, so I am strong, but I cannot keep it to one on the way to work and one on the way back.
Well,
I'm not wired that way. I can't.
That's what it is that you're trying to get out of the high. Like, what is it? Why are you smoking this thing like all this time? You know, it kind of depends why you're doing it. And I think if you have the why nailed down, and it's actually true, if you actually believe it, and that's really why you're smoking, and it's not because you're just trying to be stoned because you hate your life. If that's the reason, then yeah, you're fucked because you hate your life. But it's because you hate your life, not because of the weed. You hate your life and you're coupling a fucking downer with it. That's not good. But if you don't hate your life and you're really using it for a reason that you believe in, and you believe that true to yourself, maybe it can be different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's great. I mean, if you want to, like, let's say you go to the mountains and like really discover stuff, I mean, I would highly recommend, not health advice, shrooms, right? In the right environment, I think they open your eyes. I'm talking from my youth. I mean, I'm honestly haven't touched any of the stuff for a long time now, but in the right environment with the right people to do shrooms and really just see the world in a different way once in your life is incredible. But sure, as you said, if you're doing it to escape a trauma or, or to escape life or whatever, it's going to become often, and then you're going to end up being screwed. So look, I mean, each to their own. All I can say is your friend Philip is now completely clean off all substances whatsoever. The last thing to go was cigarettes. Other things have gone before that. The last things to go were cigarettes. I'm very proud of myself. I do feel like I've gotten through the hardest part the last 5 days. And every day I'm feeling that it's easier. But yeah, I mean, everyone needs to do what they need to do. But I would say if you're not sure about where you are at and your type of personality, rather stay away, because the stuff is addictive and can get you in trouble.
Yeah. And if you want to accomplish a lot, you probably should be sober. Unless you really for the most part, I know for a fact I'm better sober. I'm more effective sober. I know I can get more done if I'm sober. Crypto Dream says I plead the fifth on shrooms.
So the sober thing is also a trap, right? I agree with you completely, but I used to tell myself with the weed like 20 whatever years ago, when I was loading products on the Perco website like throughout the night, it doesn't take brain power to do what I was doing. It was boring, and it would help the time go quicker, and it would help me enjoy that time a bit more than just pushing buttons aimlessly and doing it. That's what I would tell myself, and I believe it, and I believed it at the time, and I think it served its purpose from that perspective. But there's no doubt that when I stopped, everything just, I became a better negotiator, businessman. I remembered things. I was much more well-spoken and, chose my words better. I would never forget important stuff. I was always early instead of just being just on time or late. Like, it changed a lot for me for the good, but it served its purpose, I guess, from that side. But you got to be careful of things you tell yourself, because before you know it, you're addicted to these things.
Man, bro, this conversation really making me think a little bit here. Dang. Yeah, this is a pretty powerful conversation. I'm glad we spent a little bit of time on this segment, this accidental segment. It's making me think a little bit. Because you're right, dude. Sober feels really good. Like right now, I'm sober. I'm not high or drunk or anything, and like I feel my head is clear. I feel very capable. If anyone walked in the room right now, I'd feel like fine. But if I was high, I'd be a little bit.
And you'd be able to take an opportunity if something came your way. You'd be ready. You're ready to go, and you want to be ready. I mean, I do feel very empowered to not need any substance at all. in any way. I do.
That's the thing I hate most about weed. It's very hard not to want it all the time when you smoke.
Yeah. And it's taking up mind space, thinking, okay, I'm going to put this in place for myself that I won't smoke before 7 p.m. or no. But you're busy talking to yourself the whole day, using energy that if you're not thinking of it, you're busy thinking about my next video or my next edit or my next meeting or whatever. So, if it's something that you can live without and get away from, I would personally do it, but each in their own time. If someone had told me 20 whatever years ago when I was smoking 20 joints a day that I need to stop, I would tell them to jump in the lake and worry about themselves. So I'm not here to tell anyone anything. All I can say is that, like, at 40, where I'm at now, I'm very proud to be able to say that there's nothing that I need or I'm dependent on or that I'm reliant on, and that no matter what time of the day or night you phone me, I'm completely sober.
Just W's on his NFT trades, hopefully.
Not so much, bro. There's nothing going on.
Is there nothing else? Is there no other segments for NFT stuff?
No. I thought you meant wins on NFTs. There are some segments. I'm saying I didn't realize we were segueing. All right, let's get straight back. What do? We do a Web3 show. Okay, great. So this is quite interesting. We got Solana Monkey Business, which is quite a decent Solana project, being acquired by Hadeswap. So now it's been taken over. Solana Monkey Business was never really very active, but they had a strong community. So it's good to see them being taken over. There is a full press release to summarize it. I think the investment was 1.1 million. The price was $1.1 million. If you put that in perspective compared to Pudgy Penguins, I think Pudgy Penguins was 2-point-something million, but that was an ETH project. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens now with Solana Monkey Business. But definitely better than it was, because they were just being carried by the community. There wasn't that much going on.
Solana Monkey Business, dude. I just feel like I don't have enough to offer about anything on Solana, dude. I don't do anything on Solana right now. Oh wait, hold on.
Yes, I mean they I should be here. Can you hear me?
No, you're good. My bad.
You're good. No problem. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's just I like to see investment in the space. And you got to know, once a company or fund or whatever spends $1.1 million, they're going to be quite active trying to make it work to get their money back, right? So it's always bullish. It's always good, especially for a project that is pretty well known. Definitely has never been one that's going to rug or whatever it may be, but definitely wasn't actively building. They've now got an investment that can allow them to do some of what they have always wanted to do, which I think is good. Yeah,
for sure. We'll show.
I just want to see here what they're saying. Hadeswap, I hadn't heard of them before this. They say largest NFT AMM. Have you heard of Hadeswap?
I've definitely heard of it. I don't know anything about it, but I've definitely seen it and heard of it before.
One liquidity pool at a time. Yeah, very interesting. Look, it's really, really interesting. They've got their own token out here that seems to be doing quite well. Investing in projects. Looks good. Yeah. Interesting.
True.
All right, then we've got another bullish big Web2 company, GQ. I mean, I don't know if it's just my day, but that used to be like the magazine. There was them and FHM. Those were the two amazing magazines for young gentlemen. So GQ is launching an NFT collection. It's going to be linked to real world rewards, which is always what we've said. Like, subscription-based NFTs are a great use case in general. I'm not necessarily saying for for magazines only or whatever, but for subscriptions, it's an easy way to token gate and to prove, yes, I am a subscriber, or I'm a member of this gym, or I'm a loyal customer of Starbucks, or whatever it may be. So now when you get your magazine subscription, you are going to get an NFT. And it's going to grant you access to merchandise, live events, also be your usual subscription. The nice thing is that they've already got like a huge viewership or readership in their Web2 magazine, that if they really want to promote this, which I'm sure they're going to, it's going to be quite bullish in general just for the Web3 space, because a lot of readers of GQ maybe have never heard of NFTs, and now they certainly are, because there's going to be now a collection of 1,661 NFTs that are going to be released. And I think it's great. I think it's a great way that we're going to see some Web2 people hearing about NFTs for the first time.
Dude, I am very excited to see the conversations that come from especially once we're closer to mass adoption, as mass adoption is like actually happening, the conversations that come from just like, I guess I'm curious on like the Web3 communities and like how they interact with the Web2 people. Like, are they going to come to Twitter? Like, I'm just interested to see like how the worlds blend together, like which apps end up talking about / integrating with NFTs or like have anything to do with them, and like what purpose they'll play, and what it'll look like, at least for like the year that transition is happening. I just can't. I love thinking about that stuff, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is great to see. Going to be a mint price of 0.2 ETH, but remember, this is not an NFT for the sake of an NFT. You're getting a magazine membership. People would usually be paying hundreds of dollars for that membership. This is where I think it works. It's like, look, you would be paying for it anyway if you like GQ and you're a current subscriber, but now you're going to pay the same or maybe slightly more, but you're also going to get merch and this and that, and you'll have the NFT that after your subscription is up, you could sell at maybe 0.01 as a memento, as the first holder of this NFT collection for the membership. So it just makes sense. And it's always, when it's a natural fit like this, it's just something that I like seeing. It's like with Reddit. It just worked. People wanted avatars when they were already on Reddit. Why not use them as NFTs, which they can have forever? I feel that with subscription-based things like this, it's the same thing. It's just a perfect fit.
Yeah, and it'll make way more sense to it does right now. It makes sense just to have that. It might as well be documented, but there will be a point where it starts to become, like Giancarlo said this when he was talking about mass adoption of NFTs. He was like, what's going to get us there is the bigger collections, because actually, let me just, he can just say it. I have the actual video where he said, he actually really explained it in a way that I can't remember exactly what he said at this current moment. That's why I want to bring it up, but let's see. Here it is. So here's what he said. All right, I'm going to put my phone up.
Push play.
Supply collections. I think it's going to be more of these mega supply projects coming from either brands like Reddit or Starbucks, or creators with large audiences, and maybe like games too. Look, we have like 400,000 people. Like, at the end of the day, it's tiny. Like, any big project that succeeds will completely change the game.
Oh, wait, hold on. That may not have been the exact clip I was looking for.
Just paraphrase it. Paraphrase it for us, Kate.
I'm trying to think of what was that? Maybe it was. Hold on. It may have been this one clip. Really, it's not gonna. Okay, well, what I was gonna say is, like, when we get to a point where people want the decentralization because it benefits them to be decentralized, instead of YouTube owning their accounts, Twitter being able to delete their account, YouTube being able to, or TikTok being able to decide which videos go viral manually, which we just found that's true. They're heaters is what they call them. They have people that literally pick and choose which videos go viral. It's absolutely ridiculous. I could not believe it when I was reading that stuff. But there will be a point where those desires from people and society and culture, content creators, the biggest content creators in the world, where they're like, wait a second, what the fuck am I doing? I want that. I want ownership. I want my own account. Like, Logan Paul would buy his YouTube account if he was given the chance, 100%. And once people start doing that and it becomes normal, and then your favorite TikTokers start doing it, and then your medium-sized TikTokers start doing it, then everyone's got an account now. Now everybody owns their social media. Now it makes sense. And now they're like, what else can I own? And like, that's the power. Like, that's where it's really going to start to go. And I'm just fucking pumped for that, dude. Pumped for that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we have had, and you mentioned it, and we've had some people asking about it. So this was already a segment, as you can see from the beautiful thumbnail done by my very own Bianca Kalinko, who, if all else fails, can become a thumbnail designer. But thank God all else hasn't failed. But I appreciate all that she does. Okay, that was a bit of a ramble. Collabland. We all know the amount of times you've joined a Discord, and to show that you own that token in that Discord and get access to the channels that token holders get, you have to go through Collabland in order to verify that you indeed hold that NFT or that token. So they're going to be doing an airdrop. A token airdrop to over 2 million users. They're going to be launching their token called Collab. And, obviously we don't yet know how many tokens are in total going to be in supply. So it's hard to know, put values on it. But basically it's going to roll out from the 23rd of February. I think they said for at least a month. And you'll be able to, so who's eligible? Verified community members in Discord and Telegram. Now, before you go and try and join, the snapshot has already been taken. Number 2 is Collabland's top 100 Discord communities based on membership, longevity, and activity. We'll go through that now. There is more about that. And number 3 is anyone who's a Collabland patron NFT holder, of which there were only 142 holders. So if we have a look over here, the top 100 communities, which is where I think most people who will be able to get this will fall, are as follows. So it says the top 100 communities, in order to claim token, each of the top communities must go through the community claim process details link on the 23rd of February. It's going to be WAGMI, https:// WAGMI, WAGMI.collab.land, collab with 2 L's, guys. Just follow their official Twitter and so that you don't get scared. But the communities are, okay, there's 100 of them, so I'm not going to mention all of them. But Axie Infinity stands out, NBA Top Shop, Kaijo Kings, Cyber Connect, Zappa, Cool Cats, Sandbox, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Pixel Vault, Rag Radio, Lazy Lions, Other Side, Adidas, Superplastic, which we spoke about today actually, Muri, Doodles, Neo Tokyo, Alien Friends, World of Women, Dead Fellas. I mean, a lot, guys. JNRI, Crypto, Dippies, Guttercat Gang, Renga is on here, Floor NFTs. I can't believe they were on there. That's amazing. 10KTF, Wonder Pals, Mutant Shiba, The Heart Project, Pudgy Penguins, Alpha Sharks, Subducks, Los Mortos, Degen Tunes, Ugaverse, that's one for Cade, Hape, Cat Blocks, Cosmic Cats, and guys, there's 100 of them. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to give quite a lot of people. Remember, only 15% of the total is going to be for those 100 top communities, so split in total, and there's a lot of holders in each of them. So how much does it actually end up being? No one freaking knows. Either way, it's free money. I saw we did have a question here. Is it just going to dump? Who said that? Janix, our good friend Janix. Think there's any... Listen, I must just say one thing. First of all, nothing is financial advice. Second of all, I have sold the bottom of every single token that I've ever been given. So I am the complete wrong person to ask. I sell it as I get it, and I'm always wrong. I think that there's definitely benefit to selling it a few hours after you get it, and sometimes a few days, and sometimes a few months. I just never know when, so I sell it immediately, and I'm always wrong. So, Kate, I don't know if you've got any insight on your experience.
I usually try not to sell it immediately, but I do typically hold them for like potentially 48 hours, but like that's kind of the max. It really depends on, like, Collabland doesn't really have any, like, what would hold it from not crashing, right? Like, what's the benefit of the token? Like, I don't know what Collabland could possibly offer that would be an incentive to hold. That's the issue. You know, a marketplace like Blur has potential at least, but like Collabland, that might be something you sell right as you get it. That one's tough. It kind of depends on.
Look, I mean, it's a technology that's used by over 43,000 DAOs.
Yeah, but
so
like
a lot of people use the technology.
They use it, but like, what benefit could there be that they could offer for the token? You know, like, what could you possibly do with that token that would be nice or like that traders would care for, people who were like, you know.
And I understand. I think with having such a huge reach, there's a lot of things you can think of. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're in everyone's discords. I mean, literally, they are. You know, so they
But how
sort
many
of media company
token that did anything after, like, looks rare, open
DAO, long term, yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult, but short to medium term, yeah, I don't know. I'm the wrong person. I do the opposite of what I do, and I sell immediately, but not financial advice.
Guys, just do anything he does. Just do the opposite.
But I'm going to keep selling immediately.
I'll probably do that too for the Collabland, because I've got a few. I don't know how much I'll get, because I've got multiple projects in that list that I still hold.
I definitely think the logical thing to do, really and truly, let's just say you don't need the money. Obviously, if you need the money to pay rent and buy diapers and whatever, sell it immediately and make money, and get real money in your hand, convert it to US dollars and get it out there. You shouldn't be doing anything if you need money for that. If you don't need the money, I think the prudent way is, let's say you get 100 tokens of anything. I would sell 50 immediately and cash it out and hold 50 if you don't need the money. Because then you've got a bit of liquidity out, and you sitting with the rest and saying, okay, let's see what happens. That's probably the best advice. But obviously, everyone needs to do what's good for them in their own circumstance. And I'm in no way an expert
at this. If you got the MetaMask airdrop and it was worth, I don't know, 100K, what would you do with it? 100K if you pulled all immediately. All of it. A MetaMask token, though, a MetaMask token could do really, really well.
Every time I get a token, ApeCoin, I sold immediately.
Bro, but MetaMask is very different from everything.
I was wrong every time, but I sell immediately. This last one, Blur, sold immediately. SOS sold immediately.
Every single other company I could say, except for MetaMask. Except they're the only one that I would say has a real shot at having a real token utility here.
But they haven't innovated properly since they've been sitting on their hands. They remind me of OpenSea. You know, OpenSea in the last couple of months have picked up their development game as there's been competition. But I mean, like, if you go back a year, OpenSea did nothing. And even now, their OpenSea's freaking customer service is an absolute laughable joke, right? Yeah. MetaMask is the same. You can't ever get hold of them. There's features that should be there. As soon as your wallet is hacked, there should be one button you push that revokes everything immediately. Like there's so many brilliant use cases that they haven't cared. They haven't done anything. Man, you know, it's the same. I'm happy Blur did the airdrop, and now OpenSea can see that they should have. I hope that Phantom Wallet does a massive airdrop and blows MetaMask out the water and makes them actually innovate instead of just sitting there and doing fucking nothing.
Good point.
Bit of a rant.
Good point.
We got Wyatt saying, so Wyatt, NFTverse, no. I know Kate, I've heard Kate also ask about this. Angel, I must be honest, like, with all due respect, I do think that something has happened to him. We all, like his last video, he said he had COVID, then he didn't post for 2 or 3 weeks. I used to watch him all the time. He dropped amazing news videos. Then he didn't post for 2 or 3 weeks, and then he posted. And that's his last video now. And he said, no, he's getting a lot better. It hit him quite hard. He's getting a lot better. Sorry if he's got a bit of a funny voice. And that was his last video. But I mean, he had a Patreon with monthly people where it wasn't expensive, but there were a lot of people. I mean, he was making, you know, I would say tens of thousands of dollars a month, if not 100,000 around there, off everything. He had a massive YouTube channel, so I really think something has happened to him. And I've reached out to Crypto Gorilla. I've reached out to numerous people. I've asked many people in direct messages, have they heard from Angel? And no one has. No one. So yeah, I think something's
at some point. But his last tweet was literally, "I got COVID." That was his actual last tweet. That's why I think it's possible he's like actually, you know, moved on. So I have no idea.
Yeah, look, hopefully, you know, I mean, yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe he got really, really sick. I know some people that didn't pass away, but are still sort of like learning to walk properly again and whatever. So who knows? I don't know anything. There's always the potential that he.
He would have said something.
There's always, and I used to be in his Discord as well, and
Oh.
he hasn't posted since a similar date at all. Look, it's still always possible that it was an opportunity for him to leave. I mean, he didn't have an NFT project, so he owes no one anything. People were paying a tiny amount every month. They could just stop paying after 1 month. So, you know, it's not like a rug or anything. I don't know. Maybe he had a nervous breakdown. Maybe, who knows anything? It's all speculation. I'm sad about it because no one had his personal details. I mean, Kay, do you have my cell phone number?
Mm-mm.
I think we should. I think we should swap. I mean, not now, but I think in general, we should be able to get hold of each other in real life in case something happens. Because this is ridiculous. Here's someone that a lot of people loved and respected, and no one knows how to get hold of him. I mean, what's his name even?
Yeah,
it's not Angel,
you're right.
You know.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have that many people in Web3. I feel like you just communicate over DM on whatever platform you're on.
Yeah.
You know, there's no point. There's no reason to get their phone number if you already have connected with them on every platform, you know, so I guess that makes sense. But especially when you're out, like, you know, if you're at like an NFT NYC or something, like you should be able to text them. It's going to be way easier than trying to DM someone at like an event. Or they're not going to see your message on Twitter. So you're absolutely right there. But yeah, no idea about him.
So last week, or was it last week or the week before? I think last week we spoke in detail about Bitcoin Ordinals, and I did a 40-minute video on explaining it as best as I could, and I think that it's a good explanation. So if you want to know more, watch that video. You search on my YouTube. However, we did say that it's still early. There's no wallets. There's no marketplaces. Very difficult, right? So straight away, a week later, a Bitcoin Ordinal wallet has been released. So that shows you how quick. Now we're still lacking the marketplace. Now the marketplace is a key element here because at the moment you're still having to trust people and do it over the counter in Discord. But we do have a Bitcoin Ordinal wallet that is here already. And, you know, there's already 123,000 ordinals that have been inscribed with some sort. It doesn't just have to be a picture. Like you can put an MP3 there. You can do an MP4. You can do a video. You can inscribe anything you want on that Satoshi, right? But there's 123,000 so far that have been done. And the Ordinals wallet, which went live yesterday, is something that allows you to see what is on your Satoshi. So if you've got an ordinal on there, you'll be able to see it in your wallet visually, which is really nice. And the first step, it's called the X-First wallet. And yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool that they've been able to roll it out so quickly. I'm pretty certain that it's very beta, meaning that there'll be a lot of improvements. But there's also another one called the Hero wallet as well, which does similar stuff. So we are already seeing, and that's something that I absolutely love about the space. There is very few industries in the world that innovate at the speed that Web3 does. Honestly, I mean, if you look at governments, right, it's hilarious. They run the whole world, and it can take them 5 years to change a street name, okay, with all the red tape and all the shit that they have to go to. But that's what I love about Web3. Like, straight away, there's Bitcoin Ordinal NFTs. Literally that second, there's Ethereum collections of NFTs that are knockoffs of it, and a week later there's wallets, and a couple of weeks later there's going to be marketplaces, a couple of weeks later there's going to be an airdrop of token. And I mean, I just love it, the speed of innovation in this
except for OpenSea. Everyone except OpenSea and MetaMask
and MetaMask. Except for OpenSea and MetaMask, they're on a ghost.
The two most important entities in all of Web3 are the slowest. So thank God.
That's the problem. That's the problem. They had such a market share that they didn't have to fight for it. But now we are seeing OpenSea in the last 6 months really trying to push development because they're seeing that they've got competition. And I'm sure that they're noticing that the last 3 days, Blur has done $50 million and they've done 10 million. I have no doubt. And that's going to light a fire. But why did it need to take that in order to do it? People become complacent. So do companies become complacent. You've got the biggest market share. You think we'll have that forever. Nokia thought that they'd have that forever. BlackBerry, you don't. That's why you do what I do. You never freaking stop. Don't touch any grass. Keep building. I'm just contradicting all the life alpha I said 20 minutes ago. It's a race. You got to keep going. Don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable in your nice house.
Don't smell
keep
anything.
Working. Keep hungry. Keep working.
Don't ever eat. Never eat anything.
Don't ever eat.
Don't eat or drink.
You'll miss something.
Yeah, if
I'll
you
tell you
sleep,
something.
you lose half your day if you sleep. Just stop sleeping. It's ridiculous. Why are
Don't
people doing
sleep
it?
half your day.
2023,
Yeah.
wake up. Wake up forever,
Exactly.
forever.
There's no time. There's no time for this. I mean, I'll tell you honestly and truly, thank God I've done very well in my Web2 life. I really have. I've got a beautiful home. We looked after and all the rest. I've remained hungry. When I was introduced to NFTs and I saw an opportunity, I would work my 9 to 5. I would come home at 5. I would put the kids to sleep. I would shower. I would have supper. I'd spend a bit of time with Bianca. And 9 p.m. until 4 a.m. I would work because it was a bull market and I made an absolute fortune doing that. Yes, I didn't sell a lot of it and I ended up giving back a lot of it, but make hay while the sun shines. If there's opportunity, milk it. Don't get complacent. Don't touch grass. Work, work, work.
100%. 100%.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah, I think we should.
I mean, I do think you need to rewind about half an hour into this video where Kate asked me, what did I learn on my 40th anniversary? And I said the complete opposite of that, you do need to.
No. Okay, so hold on. Actually, everything we just said in the last 5 minutes is still true. Just insert 1 hour for yourself every day to smell the roses and to look at stuff and to take a moment to read or like do something you want to do. Still be hungry. Still probably don't sleep as much as you should. I still believe those things. I don't think you can get to a high level of success without sacrificing certain elements of your life. But I do still think
100%.
that the 1 hour for your life is important. And you can't feed your soul without that. You have to feed your soul.
100% agree with you, bro. 100%. So, guys, if you've enjoyed it, like and subscribe. And I agree with Kate. The sacrifice and hard work is the only way I know how to achieve greatness, really and truly. And yeah, guys, love you all. We'll see you next week. It's been a fun show. Thank you, everybody. Keep well. Look after each other. Be kind.